I even created dummy accounts with fake evidence in case she got into those too. My fingers flew across the keyboard as I built layer after layer of digital protection. I used password managers and security questions based on things only I would know, references to books Sasha had never read, and places she'd never been. Helen arrived Saturday morning with a casserole and a concerned expression. She wore her good pearls, the ones she saved for important occasions, and her gray hair was freshly styled. She hugged Sasha and told her how brave she was, her acting skills rivaling any performance I'd seen. Sasha ate it up, going on about her treatment and how hard everything was. She even managed to make her voice quaver at just the right moments. I watched from the kitchen, biting my tongue so hard I tasted copper. The casserole sat on the counter, still warm, smelling like childhood comfort I couldn't access. Later, Helen asked to see my room to help me reorganize since I'd given it up for Sasha. It was a clever excuse that wouldn't raise suspicion. Once we were alone, I showed her everything on my phone. The recordings, the screenshots, the timeline of lies I'd meticulously documented. Each piece of evidence was annotated with context and cross-references. Her face got darker with each piece of evidence, her jaw tightening as she listened to Sasha's cruel laughter. She had to sit down on my bed when she heard the part about Sasha planning to intercept my college acceptance letter. We spent an hour going through it all. Helen pointed out inconsistencies I'd missed, like how Sasha claimed to have chemo every Monday but was somehow never sick on Tuesdays, or how her medical documents all had the same watermark pattern, even though they were supposedly from different offices. She showed me how the fonts matched perfectly, the margins identical. She even noticed the medical terminology was slightly off, like someone had researched terms online rather than copying from real documents. Her years working at a law firm handling medical malpractice cases had trained her eye for authentic medical paperwork. Helen said she'd talk to my parents, but we needed to be strategic. If we came on too strong, they'd get defensive and shut down completely. She'd seen it before with her own siblings, how confrontation could backfire when people were emotionally invested in a lie. She suggested waiting until dinner when everyone was relaxed. I agreed, even though waiting felt impossible, my stomach churning with anxiety. We spent the afternoon pretending everything was normal, helping Mom in the kitchen and listening to Dad's work stories. At dinner, Sasha was in full performance mode. She pushed food around her plate and sighed about how the treatment culled her appetite. She'd taken exactly 3 small bites of chicken, cutting them into tiny pieces for maximum effect. My mom immediately offered to make her something else, jumping up from the table. Dad rubbed her shoulder and said she was so strong, his voice thick with emotion. The dining room felt suffocating with all the manufactured sympathy. Helen started casual. She asked about Sasha's treatment plan and which hospital she was using. Her tone was conversational, like she was asking about the weather. Sasha gave vague answers about privacy and not wanting to burden everyone with details. Helen pushed a little more, mentioning she had a friend who was an oncologist who might help. She even pulled out her phone like she was ready to make the connection right there. Sasha's eye twitched, but she covered it by dabbing at fake tears. She said she appreciated the offer, but her team was handling everything. When Helen asked for the oncologist's name to send a thank you card, Sasha suddenly needed to use the bathroom, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. She walked slowly, playing up the weakness, one hand trailing along the wall for support. While she was gone, Helen looked at my parents. She asked if they'd actually gone to any appointments with Sasha. My mom admitted they hadn't because Sasha said she needed to be independent. She looked embarrassed, twisting her napkin in her lap. Dad added that Sasha was protecting them from the harsh reality, his hands folded tightly on the